Hi guys, welcome to the channel of love. Okay, it's Sunday, our Sunday service. Why do I feel like I'm going to be speaking to the Divine Masculine? Maybe because he's sitting here, staring at me. Have a look. You see him. He flipped over from the top and somehow has found himself underneath the pack. So, we're going to have a look and see what's going on with the Emperor. Hello. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Got Jasper now rubbing against the cat flap. Okay, he's coming in. He's on cue. He was out there sitting in the sunshine. It's extremely hot. Ole, 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 ole. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Hi Jasper, how are you doing? We've got a King of Wands here sitting. What are you staring at, Divine Masculine? You're gazing off. You're in a gaze or a daze. Okay, so you've got your back turned to the lovers, but you are thinking about it, going over and over events in your mind. Physical events, passionate events. That's what's going over. You're pondering on that, okay. But you look quite comfortable at home with your little security blanket there. So, what else can we say to you? On the other side of it, you're busy working. Still find time to watch these readings though. Okay, interesting. Interesting? Very interesting. But, hey, that's the way it is. So I want to say it's feeling and thinking passionate thoughts about the feminine here, even though you've got your back turned to her. And then I feel you yourself, you're distracting yourself unless you're planning on fixing things. That could be planning on... It's about putting your head down, working on your craft. Depends what your craft is. What are you crafting together? It's either work or it could be about fixing this connection. Okay, let's get some more. I don't think you're sure what to do. Well, this uncertainty's got you stuck. You've got the Empress now, which is the Divine Feminine. Is she under you? I want to say that as in, how are you holding your Divine Feminine in high regard or low regard? The Divine Feminine. The Empress, the Divine Feminine. So you are aware that she is the Divine Feminine. Are you aware that you're the Divine Masculine? What more clarification do you need? And how do you fix this? It's like Coldplay. That song came through the other day. I will try and fix you. I didn't listen to the song, it just came through in my mind. But today it's coming through as I will try and fix this. Okay, reward, recognition, feeling worthy. Let's get one more go. It's like, regardless of whether you hold your Divine Feminine in high regard or low regards to her, you need to find your own worth. Okay, we've got the Moon. Have you been up thinking about this? Been talking to the Moon? There's a resurrection. And the Queen of Cups. Okay, so I'm feeling it's just really the Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine who's on the table today. Underlying energy is speaking the truth. It's extremely hot. Let's just have a dab. Have a dab. Have a dabble. What are you dabbling in? You're dabbling in love. Okay. First line. Okay, we'll cover up the Divine Masculine, all vulnerable here. Okay. So much Divine Masculine you do not want to be. You do not want to feel vulnerable here. Let's get some Channel of Love cards. King of Wands. Can you tell us what's on your mind? You are always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love hasn't died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. You are always on my mind. The Student. What are you learning about? Well, we can find out more. Will the random cards do it? Tell us what you're learning about, what you're studying. It picked up on your craft, so we need to really find out what is your craft. Relocation. Okay, so you've been thinking about relocation, and I feel this might have been overnight. You've been looking at maybe areas to relocate. So it's like you've jumped a few steps ahead, Divine Masculine. So I feel you hold your Divine Feminine. If you're looking at yourself as being the student, I feel you're holding your Divine Feminine in a high regard. Let's have a look at the Lovers, because this is a decision that needs to be made from the heart. Okay, it is one that it's a very deep love. It's scary because it's that deep. So the song that's coming through is deep, deep inside, deep, deep down inside me, deep, deep inside. Hi, Jazz. You missed a know-it-all. So he knows that this is a very deep, or Divine Masculine, you know this is a very deep connection. A love connection. Come on in, darling. Come down onto Mummy's lap. Wife and a song. Deep, deep inside, deep, deep down inside me. Mr. Know-It-All. He knows that he wants the Divine Feminine to be his wife, to be his divine counterpart. He's looking at relocation. Okay. Now we've got him working on his craft. And it looks like maybe trying to generate some money to make this move. Hey, can you just keep on my lap? It's a good boy. We're going to have a look at the Channel of Love cards first. Whereabouts are you going to go, Jasper? Okay, he's going to lay across the table. Is that nice and cool there? Okay, so he's laid over the student and the relocation. So covering it up. And then his towel here, if you can see, there's a beautiful white butterfly outside. His towel here is just kind of covering up the Divine Feminine. Okay, Jazz, it's all good, baby, it's all good. So we can feel craftiness here. A cover-up job. So it feels very much like Divine Masculine, you're planning the future. Your future wife, your future location. And speaking of it to, I'm not going to say speaking of it, we can do, speaking of it to no one but yourself. Mr. Casanova, Knight of Wands, working towards, we'll know what a Casanova is. Okay, working on your craft. The Knight of Wands, he wants to rush in, okay? The king would have sent him out. The king's not sure whether or not to send him out. Feels like it's a very strong energy. It's like once you send that Casanova out, he's not coming back. Okay. I've got the hiccups. Yeah, when I said the hiccup, I felt as if the Divine Masculine, it's like, he's going to try and fix this. I adore you. And that's what he's working towards. Aren't you, Divine Masculine? Working towards being that Casanova. It's a very romantic, loving energy from the Casanova. Okay, let's go on to the next row then. The Empress with the Divine Feminine. So this is more... okay, it'll be the Queen of Pentacles if it was going to be the wife. So Divine Feminine, the Empress, which makes me feel it was under the King of Wands. That's why I kind of felt, how are you viewing your Divine Feminine? You feel like maybe you're trying to rise above it. And then we have the Divine Feminine in the Nine of Pentacles. So she is secure, happy. She's home. She's home. And then we have you, Divine Masculine, who's working on your recognition. You're wanting to be rewarded. But I feel as if what you're, because it above you here, what are you trying to like fix? I'm going to say the fulfillment of your own worth, but in return you're working towards showing the Divine Feminine how much she's worth. Okay. I feel like you're still working on money though, thinking that there's a card that's just flown over on the floor and it's in reverse. Sex on legs. Okay, with the Divine, with the Divine Feminine, the Empress. Sex on legs. What I want to say is that the Divine Feminine's at home, so can we say the Divine Feminine is celibate? She's not looking elsewhere. She's waiting for her Emperor, for her Divine Masculine. Okay. Patience is a virtue for the Divine Feminine. So hot. I'm not even sure I'm sweating, but it feels like it's going on in... It feels like it's going on. It's a bit of a hot sweat going on here. Divine Feminine. You're home. You're home. Not out there gallivanting. Okay. Nine of Pentacles. The ego turns to God. So this is actually the Divine Masculine who is in his head. Because he's thinking about, we picked up he's thinking about passionate thoughts of the past. Things that have physically happened. And the ego has got to you, Divine Masculine. And now you're worried. Or you're wondering if your Divine Feminine's out there. Having those experiences with other men. So your ego's got to you. Your brain, you're judging. How is you seeing your Divine Feminine? High regard, low regard. So you believe that you are the one for her. Jasper. I don't know why you have to do that on the table. Okay, I'm going to move him, guys. Come on, darling. I know, but good boy. Why don't you go outside for a bit? It's nice out there. You're molting. It must be hot with all that hair. Anyway. It's like heal the ouch. We'll get an enchanted map, but first let's have a look at this. Now you're wanting to show the Divine Feminine how much you think she's worth. So, be careful with your words. I feel like that you could be judging, blaming, accusing behind the scenes, and that's just your mind, little mind running away with you. Mrs. Mystic. Yeah, okay. That is the Divine Feminine, Queen of Wands. That would be your counterparts. Divine Masculine, the King of Wands. So whatever passion and love and all those memories that you hold within, deep within, your Divine Feminine feels the same. It's just your ego that's getting in the way. You need to hand it over to God. Now, I feel like you might have done this last night, but let's look at the random cards. The Empress with sex on legs in reverse, Page of Wands. So the page will be an immature king who just wants to come in for, you know, a quick fix. And the Page of Wands is here in reverse. So there's no kind of what we would normally call Mr. Casanova popping in and out of the Divine Feminine's life. Okay, it's kind of reserved for you, that spot. So, feels like it's about you knowing how to hit the right spot, the G spot, the orgasmic spot. Okay, the Empress, tease me please. You've got mental torture that's going on, Divine Masculine. Your mind's running away with you. You just want the Divine Feminine to tease you. Okay, but then now you're scared. It could be this relocation here. You might feel as if the Divine Feminine, she's moving on. You're not going to know really where she is, what she's up to, what she's doing. That's driving you a bit insane. Tease me. You're sorry. I'm sorry. For having those thoughts, you should hold your Divine Feminine in more higher regard than that. She's not your normal, typical type of girl. She's a Divine Feminine. Maybe it would just be easier if you had those thoughts and the Oracle. And that's why you come here. You could go and get yourself a reading. Not from me, you could go elsewhere and see. But it's only going to clarify what you already know deep within. But you could go to the Oracle. You could make yourself some Oracle cards. It's quite easy. Okay. Oh, sorry, we're on to the Divine Feminine now, and the ego turns to God. Sun. Okay. This is your own past coming up to sneak in on you. Your past behaviour of how you behaved. Feels very much like you've had enough experience. Now, we've got the Sun card and we've got the ego turns to God. So you've been speaking to the Divine Father here. Feels like you're asking for forgiveness. Especially if you've been thinking back over, you know, past experiences. So you know what men are like. And the Divine Feminine know what men are like as well. And you know what women are like. And the Divine Feminine knows what women are like as well. And you're both not the typical man and woman out there. You're divine counterparts. Greed. Okay. And we've got a movie that's in reverse. Stop playing out this in your mind, Divine Masculine. It drives you insane. You are heading towards your Mrs. Mystic here, but why? Jealousy, I think. That's what I feel the push is. Look at the horse looking at you. You'll end up feeling more of a fool. It's the same if the Divine Feminine starts imagining that you are off playing your old tricks. Okay, or just the typical how men behave. If the Divine Feminine allowed those thoughts to come into her mind, she would go crazy as well. And it's like, you should hold more faith in each other and this connection and in the love. Okay, so Mrs. Mystic. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy, and skies are grey. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you, so please don't take my sunshine away. Well, if you told the Divine Feminine how much you love her, maybe you won't be so paranoid about her taking her sunshine away. Her sunshine's always there. See? But what are you seeing? Well, let's have a look. With Mrs. Mystic, you are my sunshine and marriage. That's what you're seeing. It's what you're wanting. And if you're wanting it, then others are going to want it, aren't they? But can they really handle your Divine Feminine? I mean, she's a Divine Feminine. Can the average girl, woman, lady, whatever you want to call them, can they handle you, Divine Masculine? It's like the Divine Feminine are well prepped. The Divine Feminine and the Divine Feminine. The Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine. The Divine Feminines are well prepped for being able to handle you, Divine Masculine. They don't find you as frightening as what you think. You're more frightened of the Divine Feminine. I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly breathe. I lose all control, and then something takes over me. Jealousy. Your ego. Okay. The moon. Fly me to the moon. Now you've been talking overnight to God. It's like, for God's sake, what am I meant to do? And then you've got the resurrection, so God's saying to you, go for it. You can resurrect, you're ready for it. You're well versed. You've had enough of rehearsals. Then we have the Divine Feminine Queen of Cups. Here she is, at home. It's you that's hiding. You need to do some explaining, don't you? Toxicity's got into you. Green-eyed monster. Did I bring the tarot mucha with me? Oh, I did. Awesome. Right, the moon. Hidden secrets, but that's perfect because it's the moon with the moon. I don't feel you can keep this hidden for much longer. You've got the resurrection. That's a push from the universe to say you can go again. All the secrets come out at night, don't they? Look, you can see it's hidden behind that moon. Happily ever after. That's what you can resurrect into. Your happily ever after. Why are these in reverse? Knowing without knowing, you do know. You're just questioning yourself. And perfect. No one's perfect. Okay. It's like kind of a picture perfect. Sing it out. Picture perfect. Okay. It may not be a perfect picture. You've got the movie here in reverse that you're painting. Knowing without knowing. Do you know? Yes, you do know. Okay, let's move on to this Queen of Cups. She looks like she's handling you very carefully. She knows how to handle you, Divine Masculine. You're the one that's gone all weak in the knees. Don't like it. Don't like being so vulnerable. Okay. Divine intervention. So, Divine has... it's the Tower. You've had the Divine intervene. I want to say overnight. You've got the Queen of Swords. So, is this you ready to pick up that sword of resurrection and speak your truth? The Queen of Swords. She speaks the truth. And if you're in your feminine energy... you're so scared of the Divine Feminine. You won't be able to come to the Divine Feminine like that. You won't be able to have this happily ever after if you're fearful of your counterpart. That seems to be what you need to deal with. You're scared of your approach. Okay, let's have a look at the random cards. Hidden secrets with the moon. Hidden secrets. Overnight, you've been talking these out. I feel with God, you've been handing them over. Cherish. 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 So tired of broken hearts and losing at this game. Before I start this dance, I take a chance in telling you I want more than just romance. You are my destiny. I can't let go, baby, can't you see? I can't go that high. Cupid, please take your aim at me. Cherish the thought of always having you here by my side. Okay, are you trying to manipulate things, Divine Masculine? You could be casting your own little spells. With the Oracle here, you're consulting the Oracle. You've got manipulation here. I'm not sure how you're going to manipulate the yin-yang coming together. That's what it is. 69 here. You've got kids. Okay, so you're acting like a kid. You feel like your kids, lovesick teenagers. So you feel very childlike. I feel it's just you and the Divine Feminine on the table today. Okay. Got kids and you're in love. Like a soppy teenager. What's got into you, man? Love. Resurrection, happily ever after, knowing without knowing, and perfect. But knowing without knowing is in reverse, so you need more clarity. Hence why you're watching this. The cards aren't changing, are they? I'm not telling a different story. So it's only you that keeps changing the story. Get the story straight in your mind. Knowing without knowing in reverse, and then we have perfect. Things are not perfect. Well, looks like your love is. Perfect. Things are absolutely perfectly lined up for you and the Divine Feminine. Conflict. And in my mind, it was like to stop looking for reasons, excuses, opportunities to escape this connection. And it's all to do with, well, the Divine Feminine's going to move on. Conflict. That you wasn't perfect and that you got it wrong. You haven't even checked out, have you? You haven't even asked the Divine Feminine whether you've got it wrong or right, whether she's got it wrong or right. Obsession, envy, a joke. Is this a joke? I don't think so. I don't think so, but I feel maybe you feel the joke's on you. You're not a joke. This connection isn't a joke. Your Divine Feminine is not joking around. By far. 11-11. Perfect counterparts. Look, dangling. Waiting. In midair. Can you see it? 11. What's it say on there? Communication. Balance. Intuition. 11-11. Belly's rumbling. It's all lined up. The 11-11 card's going to be like the Four of Wands, okay? That's the card of marriage. Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine coming together. Twin flames. We can start using that word now. We have to start using that word. You're going to see it a lot more out there. And you're going to wonder what it's all about. And you know what it's all about because you're part of it. Mrs. Encouragement. There she is. Queen of Pentacles. That's the wife card. Now, the sun's gone away. Come on, bring my sunshine back. I don't want them cloudy days anymore. Blue skies. There are white fluffy clouds, but I don't want them that big that they block out the sunshine. Come on. Right, okay, we've got Justice here. And we've got, I'm going to read these. I'm just getting 3 cards. Justice, the Four of Pentacles, and the Fool. Underlying energy. Look at this here. What else is there that the Divine Feminine needs to do to convince you? If that's what you're looking for, to be convinced. What does the Divine Feminine need to do to prove that she loves you and that she thinks she's the one for you and she thinks that you're the one for her? What more does she need to do? What she needs to do is act the opposite way to prove you right and her wrong. She's not wrong about this. So, 9 of Swords. This is the underlying energy. We want the 9. Alone in her chamber, a lady abandons herself to wild, obsessive thoughts. So, Divine Feminine, if this is you picking up on these thoughts, pack it in. Because they're being transmuted to the Divine Masculine. Or Divine Masculine, if you're picking up on these thoughts and this is what you're doing, pack it in. Okay. This is about playing mind games. Alone in her chamber, a lady abandons herself to wild, obsessive thoughts. All her past actions, everything that has been done against her, regrets, failed love, mischance and mistake, torment her like razor-sharp swords. This is the dark night of the soul, and all seems lost. I actually want to say this is the dark night of the fall, when all seems lost. A mind caught in hopelessness cannot imagine the coming of the dawn, but it will always come. Key ideas: acute mental suffering, raging thoughts, nightmare, ghosts and painful memories. Divine Masculine, I do feel I picked it up about you being in your feminine's energy. Envy, jealousy. It's a very a feminine trait, isn't it? But you need to be balanced in your masculine, feminine energy. And well, there are no mistakes. That's what you've got to learn. There's no point dwelling on mistakes because there are no mistakes. It's all perfectly designed and orchestrated. And I picked up, I said, the Divine Feminine and the Divine Feminine, you know, you're lined up. You're perfect. You're in perfect position for each other. You are in your feminine energy, though, Divine Masculine. Okay. It mentions that there's a feminine on here. Acute mental suffering, raging thoughts, nightmare, ghosts and painful memories. Queen of Cups on. Oh no, it's the Queen of Swords underneath. I'm not going to read that. She's there though, the Queen of Swords. Oh, I best do. Maybe this one was meant to. I don't know. Let's read the Queen of Swords because she is here as well. Thought it was the Queen of Cups. But it's not. It's the Queen of Swords. I actually feel this is you, Divine Masculine, and this is the Divine Feminine. But you're both in your feminine energy. Jealousy. Green-eyed monster. Thinking the worst case scenario. Okay. Okay, Belly. Calm down, calm down. The Queen of Swords keeps her distance and does not easily welcome intimacy. You want more clarification, Divine Masculine? This is you. You're wanting the truth. So let's hear what the Queen of Swords is up to because she's here again. The Queen of Swords keeps her distance and does not easily welcome intimacy. Those who are worthy of her company must respect her independence and intelligence. Her mind is always working and she sees all sides of a situation clearly, which allows her to manipulate it to her advantage. So we have the manipulation card coming out here. So, Divine Feminine, have no fear. Your Divine Masculine is here. Her cool detachment may seem heartless. Is that how it's coming across, Divine Masculine? Okay. But I said to you already, what more do you want the Divine Feminine to do then to prove her love? Does she really need to prove how much she loves you? That's a tiresome job. And most feminines are like, it really is over to you now, Divine Masculine. If you don't see it, you don't see it. I don't know how the Divine Feminine can get you to see it anymore. It'll be energetically you're seeing it in your dreams. Okay. And it'll be clarifying all that you kind of knew without knowing. Her cool detachment may seem heartless, but those few she loves are loved fiercely. There's only a few. It'll be her close family, her children, the people that actually show her respect, and you, Divine Masculine. If this card does not represent a person, it can indicate a need for detached assessment of the entire situation before acting. Don't jump to any conclusion, guys. You look like fools if you do. The key ideas is keen intelligence, a calling of emotions, a strategy for advancement of loved ones. Okay. Should we have a look at Lady Justice? What card number is it? 11. Okay. Measuring all human deeds upon her golden scales, justice restores balance by eliminating what is not needed. Jealousy, manipulation, envy is not needed and not wanted or desired within this connection. Acts of injustice meet with their rightful consequences, and her sword of truth dispels illusion. Do not think that you can avoid her gaze. She sees through any vow of self-deception in which you have swathed yourself. There is no need to fear her influence if your conscience is clear. So, have you been off and kind of done the dirty, Divine Masculine? Like, you can't really do the dirty on your Divine Feminine. You're on a path of discovery. If that means that you have to have other partners before you finally learn the lesson and get to the Divine Feminine, then that's the way it's meant to be. But if you've done that and that's weighing heavily on your mind because you've tried to distract yourself and find, I don't even think that you want to find this connection elsewhere. I feel you just want to move on from it. If you have done that, then your conscience is not going to be really clear, is it? And in a way, it feels like you might want to imagine that the Divine Feminine's done the same, which kind of justifies your actions from running away from a true love connection. Okay, so do not think that you can avoid her gaze. She sees through any vow of self-deception in which you have swathed yourself. There is no need to fear her influence if your conscience is clear. What you have set into motion will come to its conclusion following the laws of the universe. If circumstances are not as you would have them be, learn the lesson now and be on the right side of justice next time. The sword is yours to wield as well when your heart is pure and your motives are true. Okay, we're not going to delve too much into that. That has nothing to do with the Divine Feminine. That has everything to do with you, Divine Masculine. Key ideas: karma, the consequences of your deeds, facing reality and putting things back in balance. So whatever's gone on, you're needing to address this now. Okay, let's look at the Four of Pentacles. And this is really going to kind of explain maybe what you've been up to, what you've been focusing on. Let's find the Pentacles. Cups, Pentacles. A haughty ruler sits in majesty before the city he has built to feed his pride. He takes pleasure only from the trappings of wealth. Money is his foundation and his primary motivation. So I don't feel that really you have, I imagine you might just want to stay away from, I don't know, the opposite sex. Just, I I feel like maybe you have been working on work, but there's going to be a time when you're going to want to. It said yesterday about you getting back into the saddle. Whether that temptation was actually, you know, being tempted by friends, especially if you're single, you know, it depends what they view relationships like. It could be, you know, it's okay to just go off and have a fling or one night stand and, you know, dip your toes in the water or dip whatever, wherever. Listen, you know how you men operate, okay? I'm not saying that the Divine Masculine behaves like that, and I would not want to think that he would. I would like to think that he's at a Divine Masculine status, like the Divine Feminine, and wouldn't entertain that kind of behaviour anymore. So I do feel like you've been working on your pentacles. And if you are still behaving like that, then there's a strong chance that if you don't snap out of it quickly, that Divine Masculine status isn't for you, because we're so evolved on the journey now that actually Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine are just so close to clicking together. Okay, coming into union. So we have a haughty ruler sits in majesty before the city he has built to feed his pride. He takes pleasure only from the trappings of wealth. Money is his foundation and his primary motivation. I wasn't jumping to conclusions, I was just being real. Everything he undertakes is done with one eye on the ultimate prophet. He has sacrificed some of his humanity in the pursuit of gold. Materialism has closed off a place in his heart that should care about the suffering of others. Without that, nothing will ever truly satisfy him. And you put your Divine Feminine through some suffering, okay? Because she knew. She wasn't sure how she knew, but she just knew deep within. Okay. Then we've got the leap of faith with the fall. Now, it is a feminine on here. Was there any keywords? Yes. Attachment to material possessions, greed, fear of loss, and miserliness. Okay. Let's bring you back to 0 points. Major Arcana. Let's go again. It's the first card in the tarot, and it's the Fool card. Each of us embarks upon a journey of life with a light heart and an innocent spirit. Every adventure we encounter along the path has the potential for joy. The Fool is the soul who travels the human lifetime seeking knowledge, understanding and beauty. The carnation she holds symbolises the incarnation of her spirit in mortal flesh. She has no expectations, only the willingness to live fully in the flow of life's experiences. Her worldly possessions are simple and few, carried in the small pilgrim's bag upon her shoulder. She's not carrying the weight of this anymore, Divine Masculine. She's not going to let them thoughts overtake her, and neither should you. Her worldly possessions are simple and few, carried in the small pilgrim's bag upon her shoulder. Her companion dog guides her away from the cliff's edge, for he is the part of the consciousness that instinctively protects us from harm. Your Divine Feminine, she knows what she's doing, okay? She's not like gullible and naive. That might be you that's gullible and naive, and it's just you're projecting that onto your Divine Feminine. Heeding your instinct's guidance and the call of your spirit towards its purpose, you are always exactly where you are meant to be. Key ideas, beginnings, openness, optimism, trust. Where's the trust? Innocence, the perfect soul. You have found your perfect counterpart. She has as well. Okay. So, I'm going to get a Divine Feminine card. In a minute. That was your phrase yesterday. Just one more minute. In a minute, we'll have a look and see what the Divine Feminine card wants to tell us. But I want to get an enchanted map. And I do want to get a Greek mythology card to tap into your energy. Divine Masculine. Okay, I can see these cards. Do you see what I see? Movement. Can't stay where you are anymore, Divine Masculine. Can't stay stuck in that energy. You've got a dry desert. 31. Okay. Dig deep for inspiration and truth. Now is the time to become resilient and adaptable. Is your life presenting you with opportunities that seem to yield nothing? Have your ideas dried up? Does it feel like you're on an endless journey through a dry, hot, lifeless desert? Yes, hot today, isn't it? This card reminds you that there are times when you're meant to become resilient as you journey through harsher circumstances. You're being required to conserve your energy until after consistent effort you reach the oasis you're searching for. Consider the creatures that live in these conditions. They have adapted to thrive in spite of the outer environment. In a desert, water, essential for life, can be found deep underground. Go deep within yourself now. Find your truth there. Let spirit sustain you while you locate the real source. Whatever it is you're asking about will not be found in the conditions you're in until you move past the surface of things and choose to do the real work and discover the answers deep within you. This may not seem like the most productive time, but looks are deceiving. This is a most important place to find what's truly right for you. Deep, deep inside, deep, deep down inside me. Stop kicking me under the table. So we'll go to the Greek mythology first. Okay, I was going to say, I'm sure we're going to choose the right one, but we've got a couple of issues. Unfairness. Alchemy. I believe that's how you say it. Alchemy. Unfairness. Should we look at unfairness? Let's see if I can pronounce these words. But you won't hold it against me if I don't pronounce them properly, will you? I'm sure you're much more mature than that. Zeus wanted Alcmene to be his mistress and the mother of his child, but Alcmene was faithfully betrothed to another man. Because of her moral virtue, Zeus had to trick her, so he waited until her fiancé was away and disguised himself as her future husband, persuading the unsuspecting Alcmene that he had returned early. He bedded her. Okay, so you're worried now that someone's going to come in and pretend to be the Divine Masculine, which you are, okay, and trick your Divine Feminine. It won't happen. It won't work. She's not naive and gullible. And she's definitely not stupid, okay? And she's definitely not unfaithful. Her fiancé discovered her loss of innocence, and that card depicts him setting Alcmene on fire to test her story that Zeus tricked her. So it might be you, Divine Masculine, that was tricked into a different direction. Listen, depends who you're hanging out with. You were warned yesterday. Depends whether you take these messages seriously. Thankfully, Zeus had the nymphs quench the flames, saving her life and verifying her claims. So, tricked. She was tricked. Maybe you've been tricked, Divine Masculine. The truth will be seen. Months later, poor Alcmene suffered several days of labour as Zeus's wife wreaked jealous vengeance on her and tried to prevent the birth of the resulting son. This card represents unfairness and bad luck. The fates may have been against you recently, and it is not just. However, things will now turn around as Zeus eventually favours you and helps save the day. So there's jealousy coming through from another partner as well, but I did just feel it was the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine on the table, apart from we saw that Sun card, and it mentions a sun in here. Months later, poor Alcmene suffered several days of labour as Zeus's wife wreaked jealous vengeance on her and tried to prevent the birth of the resulting son. Okay, should we have a look at the other card? Have a look at this now. Oh, come back. Metis is next, the wisdom. This looks like you're walking like an Egyptian. Walk like an Egyptian. Have a look at Alcmene first. It was tricked. There is manipulation. I asked if you're being a bit crafty. Anyway, we have Metis. No, you're wiser than that. I knew that. Metis was from a very ancient time and presided over all wisdom and knowledge until the coming of Patriarchy and Zeus. He used her magical powers and wise counsel to overthrow his father, and then married and swallowed her so that he might use her intelligence and thoughtfulness. Whilst in Zeus's belly, Zeus is a bit of a... He's the one that split the twins up. Soulmates, Zeus. They were too powerful, the yin-yang. You can check out the story. The yin-yang. Okay, divine counterparts. So they were like a ball. Like a ball rolling around like the yin-yang. 4 arms, 4 legs, 2 heads. Okay, and they moved really fast. And they were too powerful, more powerful than the gods. So Zeus split them in half and kind of seriously threw them into separate directions. And if they found their way back together, then they were allowed to be. And to be powerful. So the test was, will you find your way back to each other? If it's true love. It's meant to be. So Zeus has got himself into some... he's the one that's been doing the manipulating, I reckon. So Metis was from a very ancient time and presided over all wisdom and knowledge until the coming of Patriarchy and Zeus. He used her magical powers and wise counsel to overthrow his father, and then married and swallowed her so that he might use her intelligence and thoughtfulness. Whilst in Zeus's belly, Metis gave birth to Athena and transferred many skills to her. She also fashioned her warrior daughter's armour, making her fully equipped and invincible for Athena's eventual birth from Zeus's head. But Metis remained inside the king of the gods, perhaps symbolising the transfer of feminine power to masculine lordship. And that's what's happened. It's like you do want to swallow your divine feminine up and keep her safe inside. All this wisdom, all her thoughtfulness. It's like you want it. Hungry for it. Belly. Okay. But Metis remained inside the king of the gods, perhaps symbolising the transfer of feminine power to masculine lordship. Zeus then practised her supreme wisdom and prudence throughout his reign. If you have drawn this card, it is because you are blessed with all the wisdom and knowledge of one of the Greeks' world's oldest and most astute goddesses. You can now draw from a deep well of foresight, magical power and intelligence. Tap into your divine feminineness, divine masculine. It's there, residing within you. She didn't go anywhere. Home is where the heart is. Okay. Divine feminine. We'll give them a shuffle like this. And then like this. Again. Saraswati, she's sweaty. Saraswati, the goddess of self-knowledge. The essence of who I am flows effortlessly. Can we get this word out? It's effortlessly. The essence of who I am flows effortlessly into everything I create. Saraswati. Let's find out where she is. '80. Saraswati represents the self-knowledge of who we are, so that nothing impedes the flow of creativity from the soul. Her name is a fusion of the Sanskrit words for essence and oneself. Saraswati's name translates then as the one who leads to the essence of self-knowledge. She is a part of the Hindu goddess Trinity, the Tridevi. Together with Pavarti and Lakshmi, all three goddesses help the trinity of Hindu gods Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva to create, maintain and regenerate the universe. Okay, so they're helping the gods, aren't they? These are the goddesses, the Trinity, and she's one of them. And they help the trinity of Hindu gods, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, to create, maintain and regenerate the universe. The earliest mention of Saraswati is in the Rig Veda, a collection of ancient sacred texts that date back to 1500 BCE. So, she is sometimes referred to as the mother of the Vedas and is understood to be the personification of knowledge. Students appeal to her for assistance on exams, and writers and artists pray to her to remove all the obstacles that keep them from being a clear conduit for the creativity that wants to come through them. Student. So you'll learn the most from your divine feminine. She is considered to be a river goddess of feminine deity with healing, flowing waters. She is venerated as the goddess of music, the arts and learning because of this association with waters that heal and purify. Her iconography often associates her with a white lotus, symbolizing the purity of wisdom her energy brings. Purity of wisdom that her energy brings. You need to gobble yourself up some of that divine masculine. Anyway, when your soul selects her card, let's carry on. When we are aligned with the essence of who we are, then what needs to be communicated through us, whether with words or music or artwork, can flow. And that's what I picked up. It was like, you need to find out who you are, divine masculine. When we take the time to return to the essence of who we really are and nurture that essence, we realign again with the river of expression that the soul generates. Saraswati is the reminder that anything we create that purifies us in the process of making it is a blessing. Our art should be judged not on popularity, but on its power to transform us. Saraswati is a call to return to the essence of our true self. The energy of her card is a change for more self-knowledge, more awareness of our own unique soul and what our needs are in this moment. She leads us back into that finely attuned space where we can express with ease and grace what the soul desires most to share. And that energy feels like a river moving through us. It heals, it liberates, and it inspires others to return to their own essence as well. Soul voice meditation. What is one word to describe the essence of my true self? What is one word to describe the essence of my true self? the intention. The essence of who I am flows effortlessly into everything I create. That one word for me is love. One love. Okay, let's get this wrapped up. I'm going to end on an oracle card. We're going for an oracle of shadows and light. Not Rumi, not Mother Mary. Oracles of shadow and light. And then I'm going to go and enjoy the sunshine and enjoy this wonderful, glorious day. Okay. Okay then. This one? I want one. Witch at the end of the world. We had this card come out the other day. We shall not be moved. Okay. 45. We won't be moved off of our path of enlightenment to love, true love. 45. I know this is the last card in the book. Okay. So let's read this from beginning to end. Witch at the end of the world. An important end, a new beginning. About the witch at the end of the world. Storms fly about her, electrical whips crack through the heavy air with their bites of fire, and she sits among them, hugging her hourglass, holding everything together till the force creating the change has done its work. Divine Feminine knows what's going on. She knows what she's doing. When the witch at the end of the world makes her appearance in a spread or divination casting, you will know that something's time has come. There can be no more delaying, for the change has begun. So the best thing for you to do now is prepare for this change. Find solutions to challenges that will come up when this change comes. You will be fine, by the way, and all will be well. But there will be a time of seeming chaos and difficulty. If you are prepared and ready to let go and change, and let something end, the little witch's countdown will not affect you as it will affect others who refuse to acknowledge that changes are coming and become fearful at their inevitable approach. There is nothing to fear, but plenty to prepare for. You will be safe and well and very ready to embrace the new world. The witch at the end of the world speaks. I am not wicked, but I am a witch, and changes are made when the world bends and shifts. I hold this hourglass up to you now, so you know that the time for an ending is almost upon us. You can see the signs all about you, the strange weather, the hurricanes, the cyclones, the earth changes all about us. But so many simply say, I am wicked for showing you this. They blame me for what they call the catastrophes, and they ignore the signs. Sounds very much like you blaming the divine masculine, divine feminine. You're ignoring the signs. That divine feminine, she's a wicked witch. No, she's not. She's the good witch of the earth. They blame me for what they call the catastrophes, and they ignore the signs. They are with you, and it is time to be ready. We are all about to experience a huge change, butterfly outside. They are with you, and it is time to be ready. We are all about to experience a huge change, and it will be for the better. But while we hold on to the old, the storms will blast us, and the land will shift, and self-healing will look like destruction. The divination message. Experience an important and significant rearrangement of life on a personal or global level, affecting power sources, systems and relationships, changes in law, legal systems, the economy, and values and beliefs. There may be a need to be able to live more simply and in harmony with nature. There is nothing to be frightened of, only a voyage to weather, and you'll make it through to the other side of the storm. The changes are part of our journey to a fifth dimensional world, of the shift to a more peaceful planet, where shadows and light are loved and accepted. All is well, And the little witch will keep the world safe till we reach the other side of these changes. All is well, all is well, all is well. It's the hourglass there. So, you got this? You've got this. I saw that as the bottom of the deck. Was I going to read it out? Well, it didn't matter. It threw it out again. Everything is possible if you've got enough nerve. You can't measure a dream. The comeback is always stronger than the setback. Well, everything is possible if you've got enough nerve, Divine Masculine. Stop trying to measure this dream. I don't know what you're measuring it against. This is a new love about to hit our world. I can make good decisions. Okay, then we'll leave it with you. Have yourself a fantastic Sunday, and we shall catch up with you soon. Okay, take care. Much love. Bye for now.